My friends, welcome to this episode of the TOGR Review. I hope you all are doing well. Thank you so much for joining me for this winter storm warning adventure here in the mountains of North Carolina. As you all can see, snow is falling now. Already we have 3 or 4 inches of snow on the ground and another 6 inches is on the way. Moments ago, I made it to the campsite and already I'm liking what I'm seeing here. First thing that I really like is this fallen apple tree. This apple tree has basically been on its way down for a long time, and finally during the hurricane, it came down. It was a good tree, but it was very, very old and also very dangerous, especially to camp around. While I hate to see this old apple tree fall, it is definitely much safer up here. Now that I'm at the campsite, we might as well set up our tarp so we can get out of the snow, and then we'll set up our tent. Once we have that done, it will be coffee time. Oh yeah. I have the tarp up, but I'm not done yet. Already there's quite a bit of snow on top of this tarp. You can see that it's sagging here in the center. What I need to do is get a post and put it in the middle of this tarp so that the snow will slide down and onto the ground. Otherwise, this tarp will either tear up or pull these trees out of the ground. Neither one of those we want to happen. It is a beautiful day, everyone, and it feels good to have this tarp up. I now have some protection. As far as the snow goes, it is absolutely pouring at the moment. It's rather fine though. The real brunt of this storm is not supposed to hit until later on tonight. This is very much like a precursor. The current forecast says up to 6 inches, possibly more. We shall see. Already, I just love it. It's not too cold, it's not too windy, it's snowing. In my opinion, that is perfect. You know, folks, this is the first time in 2 weeks, 14 days, that the winds are not blowing at highway speeds. It has been so windy. It's just been awful, making it almost impossible to film anything. Wind really is the one thing that can ruin a video. Later on tonight, the winds are supposed to pick up just a little, only around 20 miles an hour, so that should not be too bad. So far, this really has been a good winter. We've had quite a bit of snow. We have had some good cold conditions. And I'm talking about, like, you know, temperatures in the single digits. And that's pretty cool for this time of year. It's not close to record setting or anything like that. Our record lows for this time of year is negative 25 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're not even close to that. Thank God. Negative 25 degrees is miserable. It doesn't matter where you're at in the world, it is miserable. Anyways, I have the tarp set up. I need to finish and put up my tent. And the tent is going to go right in front of the tarp. I'm not sure if you all can see it, but the land here is sloped. It is far too sloped to put the tent underneath this tarp, so it will have to go over there. I see people asking that question all the time. Why don't you put your tent underneath your tarp? And this is something that you may not understand if you do not do a lot of camping, especially off trail. Oftentimes where you put up your tarp is not going to be the same place that you put up your tent. Namely because of the ground, the terrain, rocks and roots, trees, and so on. It's just one of those things that you have to learn on your own when you're out in the forest. Anyways, the tent is going to go right there, and get this, I could set it up in less than 30 seconds. As you all can see, the tent has been set up. That was nice and easy, everyone. 30-second setup. And I tell you, this is what the company calls a 3-season tent, but I disagree. This makes for an awesome 4th season tent, far better than a tent used in the summertime, and that's because the inner is covered in fabric. There's very little mesh, so it holds in a ton of heat. This, my friends, is a nice tent. It is pouring snow, and for the most part, it's just coming straight down. It's really nice. It's been a long time since we've had a snowstorm where the snow just fell straight down. Most of the time, they're accompanied by super strong winds. Luckily, right now, that's not the case. And I am thankful. I'll tell you what, I'm ready for a cup of coffee, then we'll do some talking about this adventure, about the weather, so on and so forth. We got the stove going, the water's on. Here in a little bit, we'll have some coffee. Speaking of which, nothing but the best, you know what I mean? We have some Maxpresso 3-in-1. Oh yeah. Let's mix that with some Taster's Nasty House Blend. And, because we don't fear death, instant black Japanese coffee. Sounds good to me. Let's go. For this trip, I decided to use an alcohol stove, and I have a full gear list in the description box if you're interested in what I'm using. I decided to use this stove here because it is so fast, it is so efficient. It is, without a doubt, the best alcohol stove I have ever used. Make sure to check out my review of it. It's a good product. As far as alcohol stoves go, they don't put off a lot of heat. At the same time, they're not very efficient, but there's a time and a place such as now. They perform well in cold conditions, and that is why I'm using this stove today. At the same time, it's super lightweight, and it is fun to use. Because of all of the issues that an alcohol stove has, the design of the stove is super important. If you want to harness every bit of energy being released from the alcohol, you have to have a well-designed stove. Perfect. Perfect. Just like the weather conditions. Speaking of which, let me go ahead and read you all the forecast for tonight. Currently, it is 25 degrees Fahrenheit. We are under a winter storm warning. For the rest of the day, up to 2 inches. Tonight, 4 to 6 inches. It's actually gone up as far as the amount goes. The warning states accumulations around 6 inches. More snow is coming in later next week. Gotta love it. Yeah, so for the rest of the day and tonight, the winds are going to be pretty calm. By tomorrow, the winds will begin picking up to 40 miles an hour, which I plan to get out of here by that time. I don't want to have to deal with the wind. You all don't want to listen to it. So that's the plan. The low tonight is 19 degrees Fahrenheit. So it will be rather cool. You know, folks, I can't take for granted just how nice this is. You know what I mean? It's so calm and peaceful and not just like chaotic. Most of my wintertime trips are chaotic. There's snow, there's ice, and there's wind, but not now. You could tell how important this is to me by how much I've talked about it already. The wind just plays such a vital role in these trips. Anyways, everyone, this morning I had a question waiting in my email from a viewer. This is a question that's been asked a lot, and the question is this: why do some channels disable the comments and not others? The simple answer is this: it's about negative comments. It's not really about anything else. I get it to a point. Think about this. Someone's working hard on a project, they're putting it out there, and any sort of negativity really impacts them. You know what I mean? You can receive like 100 positive comments, and just that one, right? That one negative is enough to like ruin your day. For some people, that is. Plain and simple, some people have thicker skin than others, and it really is up to the creator on what they want to do. I completely understand why some channels, they disable the comments. For myself, I have pretty thick skin. I really don't care if anybody has anything negative to say. If it's like useful criticism, that's one thing. If it's just, you know, a troll, an idiot, I don't care at all. It means nothing to me. Some random person on the internet with something negative to say means nothing to me. But to a lot of people, it does. You've seen how many YouTube channels where they just flip out over the negative comments and they just go to town. They can make like an entire episode about that one negative comment. And I'm not talking just like outdoor channels. I'm talking about like all of YouTube. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's not, you know? Over the years, I haven't had any issues when it comes to negative comments. I mean, I would say maybe every 10,000 comments there might be something negative, but again, I just don't care. You know what I mean? Some channels, some people, they get the hate more so than others. Why that is, there's a bunch of variables. That is why some channels have disabled the comments. It's because, plain and simple, they do not want to read the negativity. I know, like, with some of my friends who have outdoor channels, they've disabled the comments. And some are even thinking about disabling the comments. You know, again, it goes back to, like, you can have 1,000 positive comments, and that one negative, it's going to eat at you all day. Those negative comments will impact people differently. You know, it really does depend on your personality type. Some people get upset, you know. Some people really cannot handle the negativity. Some people can laugh it off. It's taken me a long time to be able to laugh it off. Previously, it would really piss me off and I would like to fight. I would argue with people, and it just got to the point, you know, I'm not arguing with a stranger who oftentimes has no idea what they're talking about. You know what I mean? I'm just not going to waste my time. Now, I can laugh at it. Previously, I'd want to fight, but it's taken me, again, a long time to kind of move past that. Yeah. Anyways, cheers, folks. Cheers. Out here in the snow. The snow itself is not very heavy at the moment, but it's coming down. Already, the day is getting long. We don't have too much sunlight left. Here in just a little bit, it will be getting dark. I took a little bit of time before it gets dark and I gathered some firewood. Tonight, I definitely want a fire. I have a small stove that's going to concentrate that wood and make it last a really long time. Even though the pile doesn't look impressive, it's more than enough for multiple hours of heat. Before I show you all what I have for dinner tonight, I want to focus on these gloves here, and I want to talk about a very important lesson. When it comes to your external layers, such as your gloves, your toboggan, it is vital that you keep these layers dry. As soon as they get wet, they no longer work. So when you're out in the snow, oftentimes you don't think about your hat getting covered in snow or your gloves. Minute by minute, your hat, your gloves are getting wetter and wetter, and their efficiency is going down. There were studies done a long time ago by the US military that showed that you lose most of your heat from your head. There have been studies more recent that say that that's not true. Is it true? Is it not true? I don't know, but I will tell you this. If your head is cold, you will be miserable. Plain and simple. Now check this out, everyone. For dinner tonight, we have a French MRE, menu number 14. This, everyone, sounds pretty bizarre, to be honest. The main entree here is a pork cheek ravioli gizzards. What? Ravioli gizzards, what does that mean? I mean, I know what a gizzard is, but I have no idea what raviolis gizzards mean. Anyways, it says tuna in pickled sauce, processed cheese, there's a soup, salted and sweet biscuits, coffee, tea, chocolate, muesli. There's a powdered drink, some yogurt, fruit jelly, energy bar, chocolate bar, jam, packet of tissues, reheating kit, water purifying tablets. Not for resale. I have no idea, everyone, how I got this. I want to say a viewer sent this to me, but I'm sorry, but I don't remember who. French Army, ration, combat, individual. Sounds good. My friends, it is pouring the snow right now. It's absolutely coming down. It's really hard to tell how much has fallen because, you know, there was snow there already. I'm going to say 2-3 inches has fallen already, but that's a guesstimate at best. As you all can see, it has been snowing rather nicely. As a total, we have a good 5 to 6 inches of snow on the ground. I'm impressed. This has been a good snow event so far. It is almost dark. The sun is going down now. It'll be dark in about 15-20 minutes, something like that. I'm getting hungry, I have to say. I am a little bit concerned about our, what was it? Pork cheek ravioli gizzards. I'm pretty sure they mean gizzard ravioli, but yeah, I don't know. That's going to be interesting, that's for sure. After dinner, we're gonna have a fire, and I cannot wait. Already, the temperatures are dropping into the lower 20s, so it's a little bit cold right now. Not freezing, but it's chilly enough. I tell you what, everyone, I think it's dinner time. Come on. I feel like I just went to the French grocery store. Everything here is in packages, which is a little bit odd to see. I've never seen that before with an MRE. So we have the ravioli thing, and we have some sort of quinoa salad. I can't tell what the meat is, but it looks pretty good. It's like a full-fledged survival kit. We have matches, toothpicks, a little trash bag, water purification tablets. We have a little stove. We have some hexamine fuel tablets. That's pretty wild, everybody. Oh. We also have the world's smallest spork. I mean, look at that. It's like 2 inches long. Everyone, I have to admit, this smells pretty good. It doesn't smell like I thought it would, though. I'm not even sure how to describe it exactly. It's very, very different. Out of the can, into the man. That is my style right there. It is pouring the snow, folks. It is really coming down. I will be honest, I'm not sure exactly what I'm eating, but it is really, really good. And it heated up nicely too. As far as the snow goes, absolutely dumping it right now. I mean, it's dropped 2 or 3 inches in the last hour. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the snow. I'm impressed with this meal. This is better than any American MRE that I've ever had. At the same time, it's almost like someone went to the grocery store and bought a bunch of small little things and put it in a box. But it works. And yes, you heat it up in the can. Let me ask you all a question. Over the last couple of months, I've begun seeing a lot of those Cybertruck, the Tesla Cybertrucks around. What do you all think about those trucks? I'm not talking politics, nothing like that. I'm talking about the looks of that truck. That's it. I think that is the ugliest truck I have ever seen. But yet, it is so different. There's something about it I think is really, really cool. I've seen a couple so far. Some of them have been wrapped. Like one is like an OD green. It's pretty sick. I don't know anything about those vehicles. But again, anything different is good. All of these automotive makers, they just copy each other. That's it. So seeing something that's different, it's a little bit refreshing. Speaking of like the automotive companies, it sounds like Nissan is about to go under. I guess Honda is going to purchase them or something or other, but they're doing terrible. Now is not a good time to own a Nissan, and now is definitely not a time to buy one. I am getting full. There's quite a bit of food here. And there's a ton of stuff left over too. I was thinking the other day, everybody, it's 2025, and I was thinking about things that I should do differently. And then I got, in my mind, onto the subject of health and stuff like that. So, a handful of years ago, I decided to put on as much muscle as I could. So, it's been about 2 years. I went from like 135 to 180. Absolutely ripped from head to tippy toe, you know what I mean? But, for someone of my height, 180 pounds is a lot. It's a lot of mass. And mass is not a good thing. Well, let me put it this way. Like, exaggerated mass is not a good thing. Let it be too much muscle, too much fat, just too much weight, period. So, I've decided that this year, I'm gonna drop some weight, drop some muscle. I'm gonna slim down some. You know, everybody has like a natural body type. We all have like a type of body that your body will default to unless you're doing something extensive to it. For myself, I'm very athletic, very lean. That is my body type. If you go back to the channel, you know, 3 years ago, you'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah, I've decided I'm gonna go ahead, drop some weight, drop some muscle. There's just no point of being this big. I decided to get this big on a whim. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do an experiment. I'm gonna see what I can do. But now it is time to lose some of this. That means more cardio, less weights, still some, but less. Less protein for sure. And that is the worst part about bulking up and gaining muscle. The amount of lean protein that you have to eat. You could do a dirty bulk, but you shouldn't. Now everyone, this is nice. Finally, I'm warm for the first time today. I haven't been cold or anything like that, but you know what I mean. When you're out for a cold weather trip, you're cold too. Oh man. Moments ago, I got a text message from Susie, and she says that one of the highways coming into this area was just shut down. It's the steepest one. It is so slick, and there are so many accidents right now, they had to shut it down. It's been a long time since we had a winter where they had to shut down the highway. When I was younger, it used to happen all the time. Every time it snowed, they would have to shut it down. Just too dangerous. Winter is back, my friends. Already, this is the best winter that we've had in years. I mean, hell, it's been snowing for like the last 2 weeks. I couldn't film adventures because it was just too windy. Here in a few minutes, I'm going to open up some hand warmers, take them to the tent, throw them inside of my sleeping bag, and warm it up just a little bit. That is a great way to kind of warm up your bag. You know, it's like you warm yourself up by the fire, you run inside, get inside your bag. It's hot at your feet, hot up at your chest. That's how you do it. It takes the edge off. Think of like hopping in a cold sleeping bag the same as like putting on like icy wet boots. In other words, it's awful. This is nice, everybody. Underneath the tarp, the snow is coming down. The heat is just reflecting off of everything here, and it feels really, really good. It's about 19 degrees outside of the tarp, and inside, we're talking 60s. It's nice. My plan is pretty simple. I'm just gonna kick back, enjoy the fire, and then I will go to bed. I tell you what, everyone, I'm gonna sit here and enjoy this. I think I've done enough talking for a little while. I'll bring you all back when it's time for bed. We are ready for bed. Or I should say, I'm ready for bed. I am beat, folks. Super tired. That's kind of the thing about working with snow and cold conditions. It really does zap you. I've had a great time sitting at the fire, listening to the snow. It really has been a great night, that's for sure. Everyone, I will see you all in the morning. Good night. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It is a little bit after 7 a.m. The sun is coming up, and as you all can hear, it is windy. It's still snowing out. It's pretty fine. I'd say over the course of the night, it only dropped maybe half an inch. In total, we received, it's kind of hard to tell because of the existing snow on the ground. I'm gonna say 4 inches, something like that. On the ground, total, we have 6 to 7 inches, something like that. So, anyways, everybody, I slept great last night. I want to say it was around 4:30. That's when the wind kicked in. And I was like, oh no, here it comes. There always has to be wind, you know what I mean? Luckily, at the moment, it's all pretty high level. It's not down here yet. Every once in a while, we'll have a gust, but it's not bad. It sounds worse than it really is, at least right now. Whoa, whoa. Cheers, everyone. Cheers. Good morning. Let me fix this. I'll be right back. One thing I know for certain, everyone, we cannot stay here long, not without changing things up big time. The winds are getting strong. The cordage didn't break. The tree that I was attached to broke. Unfortunately, that really is the only tree to attach to. Oh, shit. And I just had to reattach to it. It's my only option. As you all can see, I made the decision to take down the tarp. The winds are just sweeping up this mountain here. There's no combating that. The simple truth is the placement of the trees is not right. It would just be an endless battle, so I called it. It's what you have to do. And that's a struggle that you will face when you use a tarp. The wind direction can change. You have to be prepared to make changes to your setup, or in some cases, just take it down. Cheers, everyone. Cheers. Good morning. My least favorite part about these winter storms is always the wind. It's always brutal. Luckily, everyone, it's not too cold today. Right now, it's only about 19 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's go. You know, folks, the issues that I've had with the wind and this tarp provides a good point to make. When you go out on a trip, you have to have multiple layers of protection. The tarp failed, but that's a hindrance, it's not a problem. I still have adequate clothing and layers and insulation. I have my tent. I could still use this tarp. Anytime that you go out on a trip, you have to have multiple layers of protection as well. That way, when something happens, you're not screwed. You know what I mean? There's so many cases of people going out now and they're not prepared, or they don't know what they're doing exactly. They're finding themselves in some pretty nasty conditions, and they're lucky to get out alive. When you're not prepared, one problem, that can end it. That could be it. So, you know, my heart goes out to everyone who goes out on a trip, even if they're ill prepared, you know? Being ignorant is easy. It's a choice, but it's easy. And being that we're human, we all make mistakes, so nothing in life is easy, that's for sure. I want to thank you all very much for joining me for this trip. This has been a ton of fun. I mean, it started snowing, the weather was perfect, no wind, it was just a beautiful snowfall. And now that it's getting windy and miserable, I'm bouncing out of here. So I'm gonna pack everything up, take it home, come up with a way to dry it out. I mean, we are locked in this cold pattern right now, so there's no like drying things out outside, right? I mean, the highs for the next 2 weeks are in the teens, lows in the single digits, if not down to 0. Winter has arrived and more snow is on the way. In fact, we have snow coming in Monday night and snow coming in Tuesday night. Oh yeah. I'm going to begin packing up, and I might as well say goodbye. Thank you all so much for joining me for this trip. If you had a good time, hit the thumbs up. Make sure to check out my second YouTube channel, A Quiet Place Adventures. I really do appreciate it, and I appreciate you all. Folks, be safe out there, stay warm. I will see you all next week. Take care, strength and honor. Cheers to some good coffee out in the snow. It's funny, I took down the tarp, and now the winds have slacked off. That's how it goes in the outdoors. Oftentimes, you're not gonna win. Nature's gonna win. So, cheers. I gotta tell you all, it is absolutely pouring the snow. I know I said goodbye, but just want to let you know that it is incredibly heavy at the moment. I love it. It keeps me cool while I'm hiking. Life is good. Folks, take care of yourselves.